You're listening to the Wheatgrass and Champagne podcast with holistic entrepreneurs Mandi Rose and Kathleen Hupp. Tune in each Wednesday to discuss holistic approaches to a happier, more fulfilling life and glittery distractions from the mundane. Nothing is off limits in this series, so grab your glass of champagne or your shot of wheatgrass and prepare for complete and fabulous chaos.
Welcome back, guys, to Wheatgrass and Champagne. Today's episode is going to be amazing because we're featuring one of our great friends, Colette, and she's Irish, so stay tuned. You're going to absolutely fall in love with her accent. She'll have you laughing this entire episode, and she is going to talk about what she coined as staying on the bliss train and not the bitch train. So she has done so much personal development on happiness, choosing joy in your life, and she'll share a little bit about her story and where she came from and the struggles she went through, but how every single day we can improve our lives and choose happiness. So stay tuned for that. How have you been, Kathleen?
Good. How have you been?
I'm good. We have exciting news, right, about our podcast.
Yes. Today we have a collective win for the week. We reached 1,000 downloads last week, so we're on the upward climb. Thanks for all of your support, all of your listens and shares, and you're really the ones who keep us going and give us this platform to share all this wealth of knowledge. So thank you. Keep it up and keep sharing. We love all of it.
Yes. And if you get a chance, go leave us a review. We just love hearing from you guys. So if you haven't yet, just you can just do like a 5-star review, or if you want to write us a little message and share with us what you love and connect with us. So thank you so much from both of us. 1,000 already. It's so exciting.
Whoop, whoop.
In what, 12 episodes? Is this our...
Yeah.
Yay.
Mm-hmm.
And we have so many awesome more topics coming up. So stay tuned.
Colette, thank you so much for joining us today. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you so much, guys. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. So Colette and I connected when I was going through my healing, and she was such a positive inspiration to me and gave me all these tips and tricks on how to be freaking happy. Even when you're going through some of like the worst things in life, she kept reminding me that happiness is still a choice. So she's been through her own journey. I'm sure she'll share a little bit, but I want to open this episode with her coined phrase, get off the bitch train and onto the bliss train.
Yes, get off the bitch train and get on the bliss train. So what is the bitch train?
Yeah.
Well, the bitch train, you can complain. You can say, I'm not feeling well, and it's a state of mind. But being on the bliss train, it's a nicer train. It's first class, really. It's first class. And it's happiness. It's joyfulness, happiness, cheerfulness, just being blissful. Now, does it happen every day? You have to work at it every day.
Yeah. Exactly. I think that's something we kind of learn as we go along.
Happiness is like material things don't make you happy. Mm-hmm. A new car will make you happy in that instant. It's a new car.
Woo!
Woo! Yeah. It makes you happy for that. But is it everlasting happiness? And the everlasting happiness, it starts from within, not from without.
And it takes work.
Yeah. And it's a practice every day. I think you really have to consciously choose. Like I wake up in the morning and I say, I choose to be happy today. Now, certain circumstances, come into your life, and it might, put you on the bitch train for a while, but then you said, okay, I'm getting off this train. And I choose with my thoughts to...
Yeah. So do you find that most people are always on the bitch train, right? Like that's just our default?
I think, when you meet people, the first thing I think a lot, I'm not saying all people, but I think the first thing people will talk about is, this is happening and I had an argument with my boyfriend, or, something negative, not always, but majority of people. And I just don't deal with that. Mm-hmm. I don't deal with drama. I don't deal with negativity. And people that know me know that I don't really put up with too much drama.
So what do you do when drama comes into your life? Do you have any advice there?
When drama comes into your life, depending obviously certain circumstances, it depends on what the drama is about. But if it's unnecessary drama, I don't deal with it. I just say, well, look, if there's something I can do to help in a dramatic situation, I will help. And if anybody else can help as well, instead of giving out about it, do something about it. Mm-hmm. If I can do something about it and I can change the situation, I will do. But if you can't change the situation, you really have to let it go, because it's not serving you really any purpose at all.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, because sometimes if we feed into the drama or negativity of the people around us, we become their enabler. It's like they want to come and call and say, oh, this happened with my boyfriend, this bad situation or this. And then they're complaining. And if you feed into it and encourage it, it just grows like a monster.
It grows, and then you're feeding them. And then, so the more you listen to the negativity, then after leaving that person, you're feeling drained. Mm-hmm. You're emotionally drained. And then all of a sudden you're tired, and then suddenly, sometimes your own thoughts, your own, insecurities sometimes can come in.
Yeah, that's true.
In that situation,
Mm-hmm.
So you really do have to protect yourself, and every morning I kind of do a ritual, every morning.
Do you want to talk about that ritual? Because I think that's so important and something everyone needs to have in some way, shape, or form.
Well, before I get out of bed, I say a prayer, that I'm protected. I also do, I do a meditation. Every day I do a positive meditation. I also do affirmations, self, empowered affirmations that I do. I'm a big believer in being grateful, doing a gratitude journal, to be grateful for whatever at this moment in my life. I can't change what has happened in the past, but I can look forward to the future. And that's what I do, And then I go for a walk. The morning times are my time, really. I like to spend my time in the morning doing self-development for myself. So that's what I like to do. I go to the gym, I go for a walk, I meditate, I do affirmations, and that probably takes about an hour and a half. I don't answer the phone. Usually I don't answer the phone before 9 o'clock in the morning. That's my rule.
That's so good. It's so protecting.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes you'll see something on your phone, the first thing, that's the first thing you wake up to.
I try not to look at my phone until 9 o'clock in the morning, because I just think we get so consumed with our phone. We get so consumed with Facebook. We get so consumed with all the things that are going on. And really, all the things that are going on, it's nothing got to do with us, but we get sucked into the stuff, right? So then all of a sudden we forget ourselves. Mm-hmm. So I'm a big believer. I come first, and then I can look after everybody second. And I think a lot of people kind of are giving, and they don't really kind of think of themselves. And it's not being selfish, thinking of yourself. Actually, when you think of yourself, you can give more to others.
Right.
So,
and we've talked about that before, even financially. If you want to help financially support anyone in your life or donate to your favorite charity, you can't do that unless your financial needs are met.
Exactly.
And when you fly on the airplane, they tell you to put your oxygen mask on first.
Exactly. I mean, why did it say that? Because you're the most important person. You can't do anything else.
If you're dead, you can't help anyone.
If you give it to your child first and then you die, what good are you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, your child's going to have a really hard life after that.
You know what I mean? So that's why you come first, and I'm a big believer of that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good challenge. So anyone that's listening to this episode and wants to kind of take something and practice it, that's a really good first one, is try for, 5 days. Don't look at your phone for the first hour.
I challenge you even for 2 days, because I know an awful lot of people cannot do without their phone. I actually, the other day, I forgot about my phone, and, I kind of panicked. Oh, I forgot about my phone. And then I said, okay, I took a deep breath and I said, you know what? I was meant to leave the house without my phone.
Yeah.
And it is so freeing. It's like, oh my God, how did we do without our phones 20 years ago?
I know.
It was so funny. Today I was coming to do this podcast, and of course I put in the address on the GPS, and it sent me about 10 miles out of the way. So the phone was no good to me. So don't always depend on your phone.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's a really good one, to wake up. My first instinct is grab your phone, see if anyone messaged you. And then I get lost. All of a sudden I'm scrolling and I'm doing this, and then I got to run out the door, and I just wasted a half an hour that I could have spent just sitting in peace or making a cup of tea and going for a walk. And those little things, and it doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you start practicing it every day, I'm sure you start to find yourself and your happiness.
You find yourself, but I think with social media, I think on our cell phones, I think it's instant gratification. It kind of for an instant kind of, ooh, I'm happy, somebody likes me, somebody has texted me, oh, it's exciting, but it's not really the most gratifying thing you can do for yourself, in my opinion.
I like that. And then you were saying that you do self-affirmations. Can you share with us some good ones that our listeners can start implementing? Just simple ones.
I just say, the first one I just say is, I rock.
Ooh, yes.
I rock.
Yeah, you do.
Say it, Kathleen.
I rock.
I rock. If you're listening to us, say it. I rock.
I rock. I just say, I am good at what I do. Like I empower myself at stuff that I do. So basically it's about empowering yourself and not self-doubting yourself in the things that you do. Because I think a lot of us, we are our own worst judges. And I know myself, I battled with that because I would say, well, I don't think I can do this, or I can't do that. So I kind of empower myself to, to do stuff,
I like that, because I think sometimes we search for that outside of ourselves, like either in our significant others or in our parents or our friends. We want them to tell
you, but you have to believe it before anybody else can tell you.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So reminding yourself in the morning, I like that. I rock. You can do it.
Yes, and I'm worthy.
And I'm worthy.
Oh, that's a
good
perfect
one.
Yeah. Now, when you say those, are you looking in the mirror? Because I've heard that helps reinforce them.
I have done that, but I kind of would be in my office where I usually do say like the I do the healing cards as well. I do, my gratitude journal. I do that. Sometimes I do my gratitude journal either in the morning or in the evening. Do you know what I mean? And then I take a kind of meditation card. I have a deck of cards that I would pick a card, and I would focus on the day, that meditation. It could be joy, it could be happiness, it could be, I don't know, some other ones that I have to pick I'll pick a card later and I'll tell you.
Okay,
yes.
perfect.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So you start your morning with that, and then maybe let's backtrack a little. So you've kind of went through some tough things in your life.
Yes.
So going through that, how did you come out of that and say, you know what, I am not going to just wallow in self-pity the rest of my years. I am going to change this and do something about it. What did that even look like?
Well, I went through, I suppose, a dark period in my life. I mean, I had some tragedy when I came to the States. My husband died a year and 3 months after we got married. So that was, to me, one of the darkest, years, actually. I mean, it took me about 4 or 5 years to really move past that. I mean, I had pretty dark days, and, it was hard living in a country on your own. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anybody for a cup of coffee, I didn't know anybody to talk to. So for that period of time, I actually went to counselling, and the reason I went to counselling was because there was somebody there that would listen to me. So that got me through the thing. Then I went and I trained as a massage therapist because I'm a social person. I like to talk to people. I like to be surrounded with love. And, I used to cry every day when I was going to the massage school because I was lost. I was lost for a long time. But then I said, I can't stick, in this, it's not doing me any good. But I really, really got very sick. I had fibromyalgia. I had rheumatoid arthritis. I had leaky gut syndrome. I had all the syndromes you could think of. But thankfully, my health and my journey has turned around. And now I'm so passionate about, inner health, how to be happy. To be happy is you have to take care of yourself through nutrition, through having fun in your life, to travel, through doing all the things. And that's what I love to do. And thankfully I'm healthy and happy now. I'm actually healthier now than I was 10 years ago. And even perhaps maybe before I even met my husband. So, and he's gone 16 years. So I'm really happy.
So you've done a lot of work.
I've done a lot of work.
And so do you think that so when you decided that you were going to try to find happiness, that is what maybe helped your health as well?
Well, it helped happiness. Like normally I was a happy-go-lucky person anyway, but when tragedy strikes and when your world is turned upside down, I mean, in that moment, all you see is, you're sad. Mm-hmm. You're very, very sad. But then I thought about, well, my husband wouldn't want me to be sad. Nobody wants to be sad. But you go through a process, it's a grieving process, and it takes as long as it's going to take. Mm-hmm. But once you kind of acknowledge it and accept what has happened, the problem was I wasn't accepting the loss. So as soon as I came to the realization of accepting the loss and I had no control, then I started to move forward. And then I started to look for joy in my life. I started to work on myself. I started to let go of a lot of stuff. But that was work. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of practice. There was a lot of stuff. But thankfully today, because I did that, I'm happy and healthy. And those people, anybody that knows me knows that I'm kind of,
You're like one of the happiest
I'm on
people
the bliss
I know.
train.
She is on the bliss train.
I'm on the bliss train. And
she loves it.
Yeah, I am. I'm telling you, it's first class.
Your smile is always beaming. It's like impossible not to hug you when you're in the same room.
Yeah, I love to hug. And I think hugging is, if you hug somebody and you just say hello to a person. I mean, even to go for a walk and say hello to somebody, you don't know what that hello and that smile has done to that person because you don't know exactly what's going on with that person. So, just be mindful of just a hello. And if somebody doesn't say hello, that's okay too. You don't know exactly what's going on in their life. So I suppose when I was going through my time, people probably said hello to me and I was so lost, but, people don't know what other people are going through. So a gentle hello. And now I set an intention as well every day. I try and give 3 strangers a hug every day. And I do pretty well because I go down to the village and I talk to people and I have a chat and I say hello. And it was so funny yesterday. I met 3 people yesterday. I didn't know them from Adam and I was having a cup of coffee and I got 3 hugs.
Yay!
Wait, how? Okay, wait. First of all, which village did you go down to?
Dunedin Village in Florida.
I was like, where's the nearest village?
I always call it the village.
It is so a village. Now that you say that fits perfectly.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so how do you hug these strangers? Do you just walk up out of the blue?
No, I say no. Well, it has happened. That has happened. That has happened too. No, I say hello, but I think sometimes with my Irish accent, because they say, "Oh, where are you from?" And I'd say I'm from Ireland, and they say, "Oh my God, I love Ireland, and I'm Irish," and so it gets into that kind of conversation, right? So then people say, "Well, and I visited Ireland and I loved it and whatever," and then they give you a big hug for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's how that comes about.
That is an amazing intention for the day, to hug 3 strangers.
Yeah, that's what I do. I try, like most days, once I go out, I always say, I hug 3 strangers today. And I did today as well. Like I met 3 people. That's right. I met 3 people today.
I love it.
And I was just talking.
And
it does.
And the world needs people, because I think we're getting so disconnected from each other, as we were just talking earlier about our cell phones and about internet. It's
you lose that personal touch.
Yes.
It's like you can have a close relationship with someone through the phone, but unless you're getting that like physical hug, and I just actually, Dr. Mark Hyman, if you follow
I love him.
he
Yes.
posted an Instagram post today that talked about hugging. and how a 20-second hug will boost the immune system more than vitamin C will. And he linked all the research from Harvard that showed like how hugging will actually improve someone's health.
I'm a big believer in hugging.
It does that, and it builds the relationship. Nate and I used to do that as a rule. We were like, has to be a 20-second hug.
Oh my goodness, you can't just run out the door and be like, pat, pat, bye.
No, it works too. Like, I mean, we haven't been diligent about that in a while, but when we were doing it,
it's very important. I think hugging is,
changes the game.
It changes the game, because even if you had an argument and, I remember my husband.
You can't be mad and hug.
You can't be mad and hug at the same time. I would hug. You'd hug it, so it's over. Do you know what I mean? So it's a quick way.
And you can hug while you're mad, because you're like, in the minute you're like, I'm just gonna hug you just because I'm supposed to. But then if you wait long enough, it's like it lifts, right? Like all of a sudden you're like,
all of a sudden your mood changes.
Like, right around second number 4, you're like, okay, this isn't so bad.
I'm being ridiculous.
So I think that's another thing I do is hug. Yes.
I love that.
I was in an elevator today with 2 people that were both staring at their cell phones the whole time. And I was like, this is kind of lonely. Yeah. But next time I'm just going to hug them.
Yeah.
Like, wake up, guys.
Yeah, you should. Just be like, hi.
Yeah. But you see, I think people are, as we were saying, into their cell phones, but they're missing out in the connection of people, and they're missing out in the environment and the beauty. And I think even, I'm sure when you go to a concert, you ever see so many people taking out their cell phones, but they're not really living in that moment.
Absolutely.
And I think really I don't know, it's just, I love just to see it, I just love to see it.
Well, the ironic part is when they pull out their cell phone, they're looking through their phone to make sure they're getting a good video. And they're missing the whole,
that's what I mean. They're missing the
3D version in front of them.
You know, when you look at happiness, bringing it to like the whole happiness concept is when you experience something through all your senses, right? You can hear it, you can feel it, you can smell it,
you can taste it,
all that. Touch, So when you're doing it through your phone, you're focusing on is seeing, and you're just seeing it through the lens of the concert. But like if you put the phone away, all of a sudden you're hearing the music, you're feeling the music in your body, you're seeing the whole performance. And that is where I think joy really comes in. And that's how we experience joy.
Yeah.
So
that's an important thing as well. Another good thing too is to laugh. To be able to laugh at yourself, to see the funny things about yourself, to laugh with people. I've done laughing yoga and oh my
gosh, I want to try that.
And that is,
wait, I haven't heard of this.
Laughing yoga.
Tell us about it.
Laughing yoga is kind of, it's like, you go to yoga, but the whole focus is laughing. So like, say for instance, I start laughing.
Yeah, you want to start laughing.
So you start laughing, So by the time everybody, like, you have to follow me. So by the time everybody, follows each other, everybody's laughing.
You're just cracking up
and
at that point.
That belly laughing.
And then you get a belly laugh, right? Yeah. So you're getting a workout with your core muscles, right? It is a workout.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And it's like, oh my God. And you're laughing.
You ever laugh so hard that like your stomach starts to hurt?
I was like, I came out of that yoga and I was like, oh my God, this is work.
Like worst ab class ever.
It was best. So that's another thing people can do as well.
So wait, are you in this class, are you doing yoga postures as well? Or is it just sitting in a circle laughing?
When you're laughing and you're doing you wouldn't be doing as hard a yoga as you normally do. Do you know what I mean? So you're sitting, you're doing some movements, maybe lifting. I don't know. I used to do it ages ago when I was kind of going through my time. So I tried to find, things that would make me laugh. Because laughter really is medicine. I mean,
it is.
It's like food is medicine, but laughter is medicine as well. Or watch a funny movie.
So laughing yoga. So tell us about this retreat that you went on. It was like, was it for joy, happiness?
It was for happiness. It was like like-minded people, but really was, your thoughts become things and choose the good ones. And I've gone through a lot of retreats. I love Mike and Andy Dooley. They are so funny, but also you meet like-minded people. So I went to Hawaii and it was a 4-day retreat, and I went myself, and I met people from all over the world.
That is so cool.
Australia, New Zealand, all over the world. I was the only Irish person, but that's okay.
Represent.
but yeah, I represented Ireland. So but it was, Hawaii, if you haven't been to Hawaii, it's just an amazing, the energy in Hawaii. I don't know, I'm very drawn to Hawaii. I had a great time. I went, the conference was, basically about positivity and how to love yourself and self-love, self-care. We had Cohen. What was his name? Andrew Cohen. He was a writer, and he does a lot of self-development too. So I might do one of his.
I love that. So was it difficult for you to go by yourself?
No,
you love to go by yourself.
I like to go by myself because I'm not answerable to anybody. I don't, I travel a lot by myself, but I love to travel with people. But then when I got there, I met so many people. I met a great person from. She was originally from England, English Japanese, and her and I became really good. We are good friends. And so hopefully this year I hope to go to Japan. So.
Ooh. See, I love that because a lot of times people say, "Oh, I wish I had someone to travel with."
No,
I'm. That's
you
very
really
common.
don't, because last year I just took it upon myself. I went to New York by myself last year, and New York City is a daunting city. I mean, to go by yourself, but I went to a Broadway play. I went to.
All the things you wanted to do.
All the things I wanted to do.
And I think that's really important talking about happiness is, when you go places by yourself or when you do activities by yourself, for yourself, it's all about what you want to do. You don't have to compromise. You don't have to worry about
but
is the other person getting tired.
You shouldn't really have to compromise. I think even in a relationship, two people should be on the same page. And I think when you're on the same page, things flow.
You're on the BLISS train.
You're on the BLISS train. You shouldn't be on a bitch train. That's it. The bitch train does not in anything in life, really.
Yeah.
It's ironic, actually, bringing up New York, that they have one of the lowest happiness rates.
Yes, they do.
And it's such a densely populated area. You're like, well, why? How is that possible? But I think
people are not communicating, and people are in close proximity of each other. And sometimes cities being surrounded by people can be the loneliest place in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because nobody communicates. Communication is the key.
I bet it's hard to find 3 strangers to hug in New York City.
I did, actually. I met people in New York City. I had such a fun time in New York City.
It's like a challenge.
Because so easy.
No, a lot of people told me, when you go to New York, people are, they're not going to be friendly and they're going to be rude, and you know what I mean. And I just had I was even surprised. I had such a good time in New York City. I did Central Park. I did a skit on Jimmy Fallon.
You did?
In NBC, you have to go and produce your own show. And of course, I was playing the drums, and there was about 18 of us. You go on a tour, so you do the studios.
Cool.
So I did the drums, and I was so happy. I was so happy just drumming. And I was, the way they have the show musicians. So we were the musicians for the Jimmy Fallon show. It was cool. It was cool. Yeah, it was cool. So I did that. I went to Tennessee last year. Well, I went to see friends last year, but I met friends in New York as well. Do you know what I mean? So I did that, and then California. We were in California,
cruising all over the world.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
And I think that's so inspiring because I'm sure people listening are going through some dark times. It happens throughout our life. Like it could be bad, then good, then bad, then good.
Dark times, everybody goes through their ups and downs. Life, it's life. Mm-hmm. But the issue is that how do you handle it?
Yeah, and how do you get out of it?
How do you get out of it? And sometimes people get very sick. I mean, I was sick. I was, you feel down. But then I really had to work hard. I found tools. What I'm saying is tools that will help you, get through a difficult time. Mm-hmm. And I use a lot of cards. I use affirmations. I read a lot of, positivity books. Mm-hmm. I
surround yourself with positive people.
I surround myself with uplifting, positive people that, that don't drain your energy. Because, you can surround yourself with people, but they can drain you.
Right.
And then they exhaust you. So that's not good. So,
Yep.
that's it. So sometimes I just kind of, as well, I just put a bright light around me and I just say, universe, take any negative energy away. You can have it. I don't want it.
Yeah. No, that's good. And I like that you bring
Well
up like the
said.
tools and something for people to like implement now when you're happy, or when you're going through, good times in life. You can start implementing the tools like the gratitude log, the affirmations, the like self-care, so that when life happens, you're already comfortable with using the tools.
Yeah, you're comfortable with using the tools.
And maybe the lows won't feel so low because you're grateful.
You're grateful and you're
kind to yourself.
And then when you look, it was kind of interesting because I kind of journal. I like to journal. And it was interesting, during the dark times of where my mindset was. And obviously my mindset was, I was feeling sad, but it's amazing what I wrote because I wrote very sad things. So I was really, I was on the bitch train. And so then once I changed my thought, like I do wake up every day and I say, I choose to be happy. It's a choice.
It is.
And when I go to bed at night, I just say, I'm going to wake up full of joy, happiness, and energy.
Ooh, I
in the
like
morning.
that.
So that's what I do. When I go to bed, I just, say a prayer and I just...
And I think that's a good point that you say you choose happiness, because how many times, and I've been guilty of this, is saying to someone like, oh, your life is perfect. That's why you're happy, and not realizing that you can have the perfect life. You can have all the money. You can have all the things. It doesn't necessarily mean you're happy, and vice versa. You could go through hard times or have really terrible things happen to you, but that doesn't mean you have to be sad. And so I love that you just keep saying it's a choice. It's a choice.
Yeah, but nobody has everything.
No.
And you don't have everything all at once.
Yeah.
It's just not the case,
Yeah, it's true.
So
I like that. Is that me?
Is that? Yeah, I think so. Oh no,
it's me.
It's one of Colette's friends.
It's just the phone call.
What a happy ringtone!
It's a ringtone. It's a happy ringtone. Yeah.
So should we draw a card? So if you guys aren't familiar or have never seen like oracle cards or tarot cards or angel cards, they have them on Amazon. We should link some of our favorites
link that
too.
one.
Yeah, I mean, Mandi knows the boxes.
Oh, it's so cool. At her house, she has like this massive chest. And she said, oh, just pick a deck and we'll work with it.
I have 2 chests of cards and I love.
She just starts pulling them out. There's like, more and more and more.
I know she brought 3 different sets tonight. I am impressed.
And so you look at your deck, you pull a card.
So this is called a Practice You deck. And what that is, like first thing in the morning, I take out a card. So I'll just take out one now and I'll just kind of give you guys kind of a thought.
And you just pick it blindly, like you don't kind of scan them.
No.
Good.
I can. This was well, I can tell you the one I did this morning, but I'll pick a new one. That's what I'll do. I'll pick a new one. Okie dokie. Okay.
She really inspired me to get into the cards because, a lot of people see tarot cards and things like that and think like, oh, woo woo, or it's like too spiritual or whatever. But I like that when you pull the card, it's kind of like a little message or a way for you to focus your energy. Focus your thoughts.
At least you're focusing on good energy.
Something,
do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Something totally that you mightn't even
Gets you
think
out of your head.
Exactly.
Brings up something else.
So this one I just picked, right, guys? And it's called, these are the blessings that are touching me today.
Ooh.
So I really feel very blessed doing this podcast with you guys. It is a blessing and I'm very grateful for that. And that's the card.
Ooh,
you can even take
We're grateful for you.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Okay, so I'm going to pick one next.
Yeah, so that's the thought for, that was the kind of the thought for today.
I'm going to pick one. Okay, so I'm going to pick one next. Let's see what we got here.
Oh, she's straight shuffling. Card dealer.
When you have to put your energy in it, just knock on it.
I just have to, you have to knock on the cards.
Just knock on yours on your left hand and just,
We'll double.
That's what I do.
Okay, my energy's in there.
Your energy is in there, yes.
This card right here. Doesn't say anything.
No words.
No message on that card. I'm picking the next one.
Write your own intention.
It says, what does integrity mean to you right now? This is how I practice trusting myself today.
Hey.
How cool is that?
So you trust yourself. That's a
Yes.
big thing, really, to trust yourself.
That's something I've been learning through my health journey is trusting my instincts,
Yes.
trusting that I am my own best healer, and that, the integrity of my choices means a lot to me.
And always remember, all is well in your world.
Yes.
At this moment.
Yes.
So, because all we can do is live in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
We can't live we can't live 2 minutes ahead. We can't live this minute. All is well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I've trained myself to say as well, because I don't know what's going. We just don't know. So that's why we have to live in the present, because I think we look too forward in the past and we look too forward in the future. I mean, I know we have to plan somewhat because that gets us excited, because you plan a vacation, we have to do stuff.
Yep.
But in the
Living
moment,
in
Yeah.
the moment.
Yeah.
Enjoy
is
the
huge.
moment.
Yes.
Plan for your future and, be fiscally responsible, but live and
Exactly.
enjoy and breathe in the
Exactly.
moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so why do you knock on both sides? Just to transfer your energy?
Yeah.
It's
put
just an energy.
your energy
That's
into it.
that's just my
So we
you
knock
know.
on the cards.
It's a nice little sound there.
there's plenty of
Ooh, a blank. But it's yellow. I like
Yellow.
the happy color. Okay. This is the innermost temple. Ooh. Did I read the whole thing?
Yeah.
How will you serve from your heart today? This is the innermost temple.
Ooh, that's
There
a
we
good
go.
one.
So that's basically like in the morning, those are the cards that, so that's
Start your
kind of
day.
set, you know what I mean? That's kind of positive. It sets your intention for the day.
And I
Yeah.
like that too, because
I need to
people that
remember.
are just starting to journal, sometimes they don't know what to journal. So being able to pull a card and bring up a topic like integrity, bring up a topic of self-love or whatever the card says.
And that helps
sparks.
you, and that can help you journal too.
You can just start
Yeah.
with that
Yeah.
word or that concept, and then you never know what will flow out.
You never
from
know
there.
what to go. And sometimes if you're feeling negative, write down your negative thoughts.
Yeah,
right?
get it out on paper.
Get it out on paper, right? And see what is triggering. Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes it's, for me personally, sometimes it could be things from the past. It could be something that happened maybe 10 years ago. You don't know.
Right.
But I just say, I do visualize it and I put it in a balloon and I let it flow off into the atmosphere.
Oh, I love that.
That's what I do.
That we talked about that with Paige when she was here on her episode. We talked about the full moon and how powerful it is for like releasing all the negative energy.
Yeah.
And so you can do like that with the balloon, or you can even burn the piece
or you
of
can
paper,
burn the piece of paper.
which
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
sometimes that feels good too.
Yeah, well, it depends. If it's something really, really negative or something really, really, not too good or whatever, I do believe in burning. I think that's, I think that's a good.
Get rid of it.
Get rid of it. Get rid of any. Listen, get rid of any luggage that you don't want or any clothes that you don't want. That's the analogy that I would say, because you don't need them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Everything is vibration. And if you have too much stuff and too much negativity,
stuff,
it's just going to weigh you down.
Yeah.
So if you had to, I guess, terminate friendships that were bringing you down,
Yes, I did. Yes.
and that's always hard.
That's always hard, but sometimes, it's not a bad thing. People kind of say it like when you lose friends. I just say people are in your life for a reason, a season, or a long time, right? Some people come into your life, maybe you met them today and you might never see them again. Some
Right.
people come into your life and they're with you through the whole of your journey. And some people, they go. And even with your own family, it's not just like friends. Sometimes your own family can bring you down just as quickly as they bring you up.
Right.
So sometimes you just have to, distance yourself.
Yeah. Look out for number one.
Number one.
Yeah. So I love that. So I think like your whole theme is just putting yourself first and what really brings you joy. And I think when I first started that journey, people would say, well, what would you want to do? What would bring you joy? If you could pick anything in the world to go do right now, I was like, I don't know. Because I wasn't focusing on myself. I was a giver. Like you were saying, I was giving. What does so-and-so want to do? Like, how can I plan this? How can I take care of that
But that's
person?
exhausting.
It
And
was
that will
so
bring
exhausting.
and that'll bring you down.
And it brought me like my physical health down too,
Yeah.
So using some of Colette's tips like really helped me, like starting to journal and the gratitude and all that. And then just taking time away and by myself. You know, like she had said one day, just drive down to the water, sit on a bench and just sit there, you know? And that was so weird for me because I think a lot of people are go, 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 right? You get up in the morning, you do this task.
But you're like, but what am I going to do out there if I'm just looking at the water?
It was weird. Yeah. I was like, well, what am I going to do? I'm just going to sit there.
That's exactly what you said to me.
Yeah, I did.
That was exactly what you said to me. What am I going to do? Is look at it, but enjoy.
Like, do you want me to stretch or do cartwheels?
Enjoy. And you really enjoyed it because you said, wow, I really enjoyed just being.
Yeah, it was just weird, like living in the moment. You know, I wasn't planning about the tasks I had to do. I wasn't thinking about the past, which is like my health and the diagnosis and all the things that had led me to like the bad health spell. I just sat there, and that was huge for me. So I definitely encourage anyone that's like listening to take that self-care time, even if you have to get up like an hour early, right? Like it's
I believe 30 minutes on your own every day.
Yeah.
Because you have to have that decompress. Just let it all just be.
I love it.
Yeah.
I do that. That's what I do. But I've been doing this for many years because of, as we said earlier, because I went through that dark period in my life.
And it's like not going to happen overnight. You're not going to all of a sudden wake up, you know, 3 days from today being like, I'm so happy. It's gonna take.
It's a journey, and people say, "Oh, you're so happy," you know how and I'm like, but I work on my happiness. It doesn't like outside, as I said, outside influences doesn't make me happy. It helps,
right?
But it doesn't make you happy. It starts from within. It starts from being healthy, being happy, and
making it a priority.
Well, making yourself, that's being healthy. Being healthy, eating right, sleeping, meditation, finding joy, being with people you love to be with.
I love it.
Having a blast.
Yay, I'm so excited. Well, I love it. Thank you so much for sharing all of this with us.
You're more than welcome. And usually in the morning, I usually say, do you want me to say?
Oh, I would love that.
All right. So in the morning, I usually say, may today be all I needed to be. May the peace of God and the freshness of the Holy Spirit restore my thoughts, rule in my dreams and conquer all my fears. May God manifest himself today in ways I have never experienced. May the joys be fulfilled, my dreams be closure, and my prayers be answered. I pray that faith enters a new height for me. I pray that my territory is enlarged, and I pray for peace, healing, health, happiness, prosperity, joy, and true love, underlying love for God and the universe or whoever you want to believe in. And that's what I do.
Love
That's
that.
beautiful. Every morning.
Yes.
Oh, how can you have a bad day when you start with that?
I know. And then like she was saying, her vibe attracts her tribe. So when you go out into the world and you have the happiness and the joy, you can give it to the world.
Yes, you give it to the world. And
amazing.
But that has such a domino effect on everybody. You know, like when you have a negative effect, it has a negative effect.
Mm-hmm.
So
the butterfly effect.
Yeah, exactly. So the more joy I try. Look at, I'm not perfect, but I try. That's
well, you've definitely brought joy to my world, Colette. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I really enjoyed doing this. Yes, I really did.
This is awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Well, that wraps up today's interview with Colette, and we'll link some helpful info in the show notes below. And whether you're cleansing or celebrating, cheers!
Cheers! As we say, sláinte!
Thank you for listening to the Wheatgrass and Champagne podcast. If you loved today's episode, make sure to subscribe and leave a 5-star review. Join the Wheatgrass and Champagne community on Instagram, Facebook, and wheatgrassandchampagne.com. Details from this episode can be found in the show notes below. Tune in next Wednesday as we continue to seek the perfect balance between indulging and upgrading. Until then, cheers.